Formula One returned to Saudi Arabia last weekend, and the Jeddah Corniche circuit is a somewhat challenging circuit for drivers, with its narrow track layout and high-speed corners. Throughout 3 practice sessions, drivers tried to get used to the narrow corners of the Jeddah track to keep their cars away from the curbs and walls as much as possible. Throughout all those practice sessions, Red Bull and Aston Martin dominated with some fast laps. Mercedes Garage was busy with testing new parts ahead of the race on Sunday, as they are trying to find the right balance with the existing chassis structure. Even though the first race in Bahrain was somewhat competitive, top and bottom teams appeared to be separating in Jeddah, with a clear deficit in terms of performance. Red Bull and Aston Martin continued their form from the practice session to the qualifying as well. However, Leclerc broke into the top with second best time during qualifying, but he had to serve a 10-place grid penalty as he took his 3rd electronic control unit of the season. Verstappen experienced a mechanical failure and had to withdraw from qualifying. The Red Bull driver had to start the race as P15, which was a much more challenging task for the Dutchman, as overtaking is somewhat a difficult task in the narrow streets of Jeddah. The race on Sunday was full of drama, and we are going to discuss the race in Jeddah through this video. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. Finally, Sergio Perez was able to convert his pole position into a victory on the fastest street circuit of the F1 calendar. It was a great recovery drive from his teammate Max Verstappen from P15 to P2, giving back-to-back 1-2 finishes for the Austrian racing outfit. The biggest threat for Perez at the front was Fernando Alonso, who started behind him. As everyone expected, the 2-time world champion launched his attack against the Mexican from the beginning. He was able to take the lead when the race was approaching turn 1. However, he lost the lead to Perez again, as RB19 was clearly faster than AMR23 on the straights. Alonso had a good chance to fight back, but he lost that opportunity with the time penalty that he served due to the error that he caused at the start. The driver of the day was Max Verstappen, who was able to push his car from P15 to P2, and he passed all the cars very easily up to P10. But he had a big challenge ahead, as Leclerc and Verstappen were 7th and 9th by lap number 10. Verstappen was able to complete an easy overtake over his former championship rival Lewis Hamilton by lap number 12, with the help of the DRS to take an 8th position, and the championship leader was just 2 seconds behind Leclerc. However, Leclerc was with enough pace to defend against the attack of the Dutchman, and he was able to pass Esteban Ocon to take the 6th position as well. By lap number 14, both Ocon and Stroll decided to enter pit lane, and with that advantage, Verstappen easily jumped to 6th position with the help of the DRS. 2 laps later, Ferrari engineers called Sainz to pit for a hard set of tyres, and taking the advantage, Verstappen moved 1 position further. Leclerc also decided to change his old rubber by lap number 17, creating the opportunity for the championship leader to jump into the 4th position very easily. Stroll appeared to be going through a problem on lap number 18, and he got the orders to stop the car immediately. Even though he parked his AMR23 by the side of the track, race control went for a full safety car session. At that moment, Alonso pitted 1 time and served the 5-second time penalty as well. However, he maintained a clear gap with Russell to rejoin ahead of the Mercedes driver. Perez was running on his old rubber since the commencement of the race, and he used this opportunity to pit a new set of tyres. In addition to them, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton and Leclerc pitted a new set of tyres during this safety car session, and Leclerc appeared to be the biggest loser in the pit lane as he lost several track positions during this shuffle. After the restart, Hamilton passed Sainz very easily, climbing up to the 5th position. Verstappen, who was eyeing at a podium finish, was just 1 position away from it, and he breezed past Russell into the final corner without experiencing a heavy defense from the British driver. At that moment, the gap between Perez and Verstappen was very small at just 5 seconds. However, the Aston Martin driver Alonso was sandwiched between the Red Bull pair. Verstappen used DRS again effectively to pass Alonso, who was running at 2nd. However, at the latter part of the race, there was a fear of a double DNF for Red Bull, as the Dutchman complained about a drive shaft problem problem and the Mexican about a long brake pedal, but they were lucky to finish the race without much issue, giving another 1-2 finish for Red Bull. Alonso finished the race third, 15 seconds behind the race leader. However, it was another 10-second penalty for Alonso due to an error in serving their penalty incorrectly due to the rear jack mechanic starting his work too early. That meant Russell, who was fourth, climbed up to the final podium spot. But Aston Martin made an appeal using their right to review and got a successful result by reversing the decision of the FIA stewards. That gave the opportunity for Alonso to be the 6th driver to record 100 podium finishes in the entirety of Formula One history. So, Mercedes duo Russell and Hamilton were 4th and 5th, ahead of 2 Ferrari drivers, Sainz and Leclerc. Behind them, Alpine duo Ocon and Gasly were in 8th and 9th position. The last point-paying position was occupied by Haas driver Kevin Magnussen. His teammate Nico Hülkenberg was able to push his car to P12. Yuki Tsunoda was sandwiched at P11 by 2 Haas drivers. It was the best finish for the Italian racing team, who are under huge stress from the Red Bull administration regarding its underperformance. Their rookie driver Nick de Vries was able to finish the race in 14th place. The best finish for Alfa Romeo was P13 by the Chinese driver Zhou Guanyu, and his teammate Valtteri Bottas finished the race as last. Only one Williams car saw the checkered flag, as Albon experienced an unexpected brake failure. Their rookie driver, Logan Sargent, was able to finish the race in 16th position. This is going to be another disappointing season for McLaren, as they show a huge decline this season. Even though they expected to finish the season as 3rd in the constructors' standings, McLaren is far away from achieving that dream. Their MCL 60 is a total mess, and Piastri and Lando's efforts were sufficient enough only to finish the race as P15 and P17. Verstappen is still the championship leader thanks to his fastest lap of the race. Now, it is clearly an open battle between Verstappen, Perez and Alonso at the top. However, Mercedes is also showing a huge improvement, and Russell will surely challenge the dominancy of Red Bull and Aston Martin if the Brackley-based team can improve the performance of the W14 by a slight amount. Now, Formula One is heading towards the Southern Hemisphere for the Australian GP, which is scheduled to be held in 2 weeks. Track conditions considerably differ from what the teams experienced in the Middle East, so we can expect a change in performance in the Southern Hemisphere. Who will be the winner in Australia? Can we expect a change in Red Bull and Aston Martin's dominance in Australia? Come on, share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out, guys. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.